We selected was soccer juggling, as demonstrated in this clip by Barcelona and Brazil star Neymar Jr. Soccer juggling is required on the field of play when you're forced to control an aerial ball, or in this case passing your opponents by controlling the ball with your body. Although it's not commonly used in the game, juggling assists with the fundamental skills of the sport, predominantly ball control. The reason behind the selection of the skill was that the coach plays and coaches soccer while the learner was keen on learning a new skill.
The pre-test, the learner was assessed on how many times they were able to juggle the soccer ball consistently with any part of the body, excluding hands. We collected the average score out of 3 attempts.
In week 1, the key aspect was the foot-thigh catch. Because the learner is in the cognitive stage of learning, the skill was broken down into its simplest form, and the foot to catch and thigh to catch drills were practiced, as demonstrated by the coach.
The demonstration by the coach provided the learner with verbal cues to perform the whole skill. In the second session of week 1, a qualitative analysis was undertaken by the coach, as well as a qualitative feedback. This included visual cues such as balance, using the grounded leg to keep your balance. Each week, the learner participated in 3 30-minute sessions.
Week 2 concentrated on combining 2 aspects of foot to ball and thigh to ball together. To simplify the skill, the first drill involved a bounce between the 2 aspects, followed by a drill which saw the learner combine the 2 together. Positive feedback was given to the learner to enhance their motivation and inform them that they're improving. Knowledge of performance was also given after the second session so that the learner was aware of what aspects they need to improve on.
Week 3 was solely focused on the learner's non-dominant foot and thigh, participating on the same simple drills of week 1, except this time only the left foot was used. Qualitative results were shown to the learner with their key aspects scored out of 5. This was followed by the learner viewing their training session recording and being able to analyze their performance. Positive feedback was again used to encourage the learner.
Week 4 saw the introduction of controlling the ball. The drill used saw the coach throw the ball into the learner, who then had to control it without using their hands, as shown by the coach in the demonstration. This drill was used to enhance the learner's overall ability to control the ball, which would therefore facilitate their juggling ability. During week 4, there were a few alternate variations that saw the learner perform the skill on both concrete and then advance into grass.
Week 5 concentrated on beginning the juggle by flicking the ball into the air. This began with a demonstration by the coach, followed by a drill that saw the learner solely focus on flicking the ball up and catching it. Once the learner progressed through the flick, the second drill involved turning the flick into a juggle. The second session of week 5 also saw the post-test be completed, where quantitative analysis was completed as well as a qualitative.
Participated in a retention test to see how much they had retained after the 5-week period. The test consisted of the ball being passed to the learner as it would in the game context, and then the learner being able to execute their skill. The retention test determined that the skill was learned as it was well executed by the learner. Qualitative data was collected each week for the 5-week training program. The key aspects of these skills were qualitatively analysed by the coach. These included the balance of the learner, weight of the ball, and control. Balance was assessed on how stable the learner's body was. Control focused on how much control they had over the ball, and their body combined, while weight of the ball was focused on the flight of the ball.
Qualitative results showed a gradual progress for each aspect of the skill. The qualitative analyses on balance showed a vast improvement after week 3. Although it began quite poor, the learner's balance improved dramatically. According to the graphs, the weight of the ball plateaued in improvement between weeks 2 to 4 and continued to improve onto week 5. Control had an increased score by 1 each week. All in all, the results clearly show the learner has improved on learning the skill. The quantitative data was conducted by the learner, participating in an average of 3 attempts and keeping the soccer ball off the ground, excluding their hands. The quantitative data shows that the learner improved by the 5-week journey by 50%, which is a vast improvement. As you can see on the table, the pre-test averaged 2 while the post-test averaged 4.
Recording our sessions is an extremely useful method in providing both the coach and the learner feedback. By having each session recorded, we were able to go back and really analyse what was done well and what wasn't for the next session. By analysing video footage, I was also able to tell Tash what she should work on in her third and final session each week at home. Scheduling of training sessions. 3 times 30-minute sessions was an effective way of learning the skill and working on different aspects. By having 2 contact sessions a week where one aspect of the skill would be learned and then practiced at home for 1 session is an effective method in the learner's development and progress of the skill. As a coach, teaching someone a complex skill who is a raw beginner was quite difficult. Although the learner was successfully attending training sessions and actively participating in the drills that were set, soccer juggling proved to be a complex skill to learn over a 5-week period. Individuals who have been playing the sport for several years often struggle to juggle the ball, highlighting its degree of difficulty, especially for a beginner.
So I'll be discussing what, as a learner, I thought worked well. So firstly, I'll start off with the coach. Well, Yana was a good coach overall. Gave very good feedback during my training sessions, very clear with demonstrations, and if I got a bit stuck, she would always be able to help me out. And especially with her experience with coaching already, really was beneficial through the sessions. Another thing that worked well was our recordings. So we kept up each week, keeping up to date with our training sessions, making sure we get them done each week. Another bonus was being able to practice the skills at home, being so simple to follow and again easy to learn and repeat at home, recapping on what I learned throughout the weeks. Another good thing was that we were able to access each other very easily, living locally, not too far from each other. Also, it was very interesting to see me learn a new skill, which I wasn't familiar with, and just to see the transfer from my experience with martial arts transfer over to soccer, which was a positive thing because with martial arts there's a lot of balance required, especially when we have to be on one foot, and just like soccer juggling, you've got to be on one foot and on balance all the time and having that control with the body. Yeah. So we're discussing what didn't work. I guess having to train on different surfaces, concrete, grass especially, was a bit of a challenge, but I guess that helped learn skill and different variations with that. The weather played a minor part, being a bit windy. And the most important one was the complexity of the skills. Learning it in such a short period of time was a bit difficult, but managed. And probably won't use a skill again, especially in a gaming situation. If I was to play soccer, I wouldn't really use soccer juggling.
By extending the training program to over 5 weeks, this would have allowed for not only more but alternate variations. By increasing the number of variations, the learner would become more accustomed to the skill. As a coach, I very much stood back and only say key pieces of feedback or advice. For a raw learner, it may have been more beneficial to give them more information without overloading them with feedback.